My first goal is to ensure that ELLs and their families will feel welcome. A couple ways that I am going to do this is through making sure that I will provide interpreters to help new families understand not only the content, but the context of the conversation. I'm also going to do family interviews that help build a relationship between the student's family and the school, as well as allowing myself to get to know the student and their development. I will also have dual language resources made available, and I will ensure that my school community has visible representation through posters and signs of the multilingual community. I will also ensure that I am using the initial assessment to inform my planning and goal setting by collaborating with the assessor, the student, the parents, and other teachers to ensure that the student oral interview, the picture response, the first language and reading sample, as well as the early literacy tasks and reading and writing assessment tasks have appropriately placed the student on the step continua, and that we are continuously working together to ensure that we have their best next steps planned. Another goal of mine is to ensure that ELL students see themselves in their learning environment. This means not only physically in the books that are available in the library and what is on the walls, but also the content to which I am teaching. Meaning, especially as an English teacher, that it is important that I offer a diverse set of reading texts for which students can connect to, and also give them the opportunity to create their own dual texts and their own bilingual texts to empower themselves and affirm their identity, their cultures, and their languages. It's very important that ELL students feel that their identity, culture, and language is valued and affirmed. One of the ways that I'm going to do this is to continuously commit myself to getting to know my students and understanding how I can provide opportunities for students to do something powerful, to feel empowered and affirm their identity, culture, and language. This means giving the students the power and choice of their reading materials, providing diverse and multilingual reading materials, and the power of expressing themselves in their first languages, and using that knowledge to help facilitate a greater understanding of the English language and develop their literacy skills in their first language as well as in the English language. Bilingual education, which includes the student's mother tongue, can help the pedagogy, but must also affirm students' identities, academic, cognitive, and personal identities. Another goal of mine is to ensure that ELL students have the confidence to express their opinion and know that they have a voice. One of the ways that I'm going to do this is to ensure that I create a collaborative learning environment between myself, the students, and between student-to-peer relationships. Technology is a fantastic tool in engaging a collaborative power and giving students the opportunity to create and affirm their identities, cultures, and languages. I've had many experiences in utilizing tools like Twine, Easy Travel, YouTube, Google Classroom, and many others that give students the platform to share and create projects with not only their fellow students, but with the wider society as well. Ways that I'm going to ensure that ELL students learn English at the same time as the Ontario curriculum is to utilize dual language strategies, which means that I'm encouraging students who are just beginning to learn English to write in their own language, inviting English language learners to develop ideas in their first language, giving English language learners opportunities to work with same language partners, and develop some learning activities that take advantage of the first languages spoken in class, and invite students to produce dual language assignments. That way, they are activating prior knowledge while learning English, while maintaining the standards in the Ontario curriculum. ELL students will meet high expectations when they're involved in their own goal setting and when they're provided with appropriate supports. This means creating a collaborative working environment where I can work with the student, their parents, their families, the support staff, and ensure that this student has everything that they need and the resources that will benefit them the best in order to achieve their goals and keep working to extend them. In order to best support ELLs, I will diversify my teaching/instructional strategies. And one of the ways that I'm going to do this, although it will look different in every situation and for every student, I'm going to scaffold, meaning I'm going to connect the material to students' lives to activate prior background knowledge. I'm going to affirm their identities, cultures, and languages, and I'm also going to extend their first language as well as building on the second language. Like to conclude with a quote from Professor Cummins, which says that if you want students to emerge from schooling after 12 years as intelligent, imaginative, and linguistically talented, then treat them as intelligent, imaginative, and linguistically talented from the very first day that they arrive in school. In contexts where the languages of students and communities have been systemically devalued, then enabling them to carry out powerful, identity affirming intellectual work in these languages involves challenging coercive relations of power.